I'm like trying to choose which one to give my attention to at that point in time.
Oh my god, after weeks of speculation, it has finally been confirmed that Amy and Michael are actually getting a divorce, and it's not at all going to be what you were probably expecting, because Michael was actually the one who filed, not Amy. And guys, the story of what is going on is completely crazy. So it was first reported by The Sun a couple of weeks ago that Amy had left Michael and had taken the kids with her and moved into Tammy's house, but we didn't really know if there was really any truth to it at all, because there were no public divorce filings. Well, now we finally know that it is true, because Michael just filed for divorce from Amy. So I don't know about you guys, but I really thought that Amy would be the one to file, since she's supposedly the one who left him, and since she seems to be the person that's unhappy with the relationship. But maybe this means that there's more going on behind the scenes, since Michael was the one to file. And wait until you see this clip from the show that honestly confirms everything we thought about these two. But I don't want to waste any time, so let's get into it. So this whole thing is just incredibly weird, you guys. I mean, we're watching how much they're struggling on the show, but I honestly just assumed that they would get through it, or maybe even that they were kind of playing it up for some drama on the show. And they're obviously in a difficult season of life right now to begin with. They had 2 kids less than 2 years apart, all while filming a reality show, not even to mention all the stress that they've been under trying to help Tammy, get her health under control. And I really just thought they, had just hit a rough patch, but would get through it as the kids got older. And I did not think that they would just immediately get divorced. I mean, just logistically, how is this going to work? Can either of them afford to live without each other's incomes? Assuming that Michael still works a regular job, they're both reliant on each other for their income. And how are they going to split up their assets and both afford separate houses to live in? And is Michael going to have anything to do with the kids? I mean, we're seeing on the show right now that he doesn't have much to do with them already, and that's with Amy there. So how is he supposed to take care of the kids by himself when he can't even help Amy take care of them, when she's there? So to me, it seems like this is an extremely impulsive decision that he didn't think through. And I don't want to take sides here, but because, it's like, who knows? But maybe we're only seeing what the producers want us to see, but it really seems like Amy is in the right here. I mean, she's taking care of the kids and Tammy, and she clearly just needed some help and support from him. And, but again, maybe this is just the narrative that the producers want us to see, because over the last few seasons, we have seen Michael step up and take care of both Amy and Tammy, which he definitely didn't need to do. So why did he just magically stop helping now that it's his own children that he has, to take care of? So something is just not adding up for sure. And I just don't, get how any of this is going to work. I mean, how is Amy going to live? She seems so dependent on him, not only financially, but just in life. I mean, she can't even drive because she's legally blind. So how is she going to do literally anything without Michael? And we all know that Tammy can't drive either. So maybe she'll just rely on Chris and Amanda, which, speaking of Chris and Amanda, this clip of them with Michael and Amy is honestly insane. And it might confirm a theory about what's happening with Michael and Amy right now. So let's take a look at this clip. It's from one of the new episodes of 1,000 Pound Sisters, and it's so subtle that it's easy to miss if you aren't paying extremely close attention. First, we have Amy trying to console Gage off to the side to the rest of the family, and they're all pretty much ignoring everything that's going on with her except for Amanda. Amanda is holding Glenn, and she's worried about Amy and Gage, who won't calm down. So rather than pass Glenn off to his father, she passes him off to Chris, Amy's brother, while Michael looks away and completely ignoring that either of his kids are crying or are upset. Same with his wife. Amy is literally crying and talking about how she doesn't know which baby to give her attention to, and Michael could sincerely not care any less, and he just keeps eating and looking off to the distance while Amanda is trying to help Amy engage, and Chris is taking care of Glenn. But so much is said in the unsaid here. I mean, you can tell that Amanda is not happy with Michael. She's taking control of the entire situation while rolling her eyes at Michael, and she doesn't even think to ask for his help. And the biggest piece of the story that's missing here is that Amanda was married to Michael's brother, and they have a few kids together, so Amanda's probably been through this exact situation already, and she probably feels like she's watching history repeat itself. It's almost, kind of seems like she's trying to be the person that she needed when she was married to Michael's brother. So don't get me wrong, this is just a theory, but you can see how angry Amanda is at Michael in the moment, and you can see that Amy has to rely on her siblings a lot more than she can rely on her husband, and none of it makes sense to me, because until this season, we have watched Michael handle Michael about everything for Amy. She and Tammy had been completely reliant on him, and he really seemed like a great guy. But now that they have kids, he's completely disappeared, and instead just relying on Amanda for everything. So, I mean, do you think there's tension between Amanda and Michael because Amanda divorced his brother? I mean, it's extremely obvious that Amanda isn't a fan of him because of her ex-husband, and maybe there's fighting behind the scenes, and maybe Amanda was trying to convince Amy to turn on Michael since she divorced his brother, or maybe they're just fighting because of the divorce and Amy is siding with her sister over her husband. It's clearly a super difficult situation, but I just can't fathom how they're already, calling it quits, and they've only been struggling for a few months since the current season of the show was filmed in November. And considering how little their kids still are, and considering that they've only been married for 5 years, it just seems impossible that they already filed for divorce. I mean, I was just so shocked when it came out that Amy had moved out, but I was honestly just assuming that she was trying to scare Michael and that they'd work through their problems and come back together, as stronger than ever. So I just can't believe that instead of all that, Michael filed for divorce. So who knows, maybe they'll still be able to work it out, but if not, Amy is going to need a lot of help from her family, or maybe even a new guy just to survive in the world with 2 small children dependent on her. I mean, this is just a really tough situation, and I really feel for both of them and the 2 kids, and I really hope they can figure it out. But if they can't, I hope it's the right choice for all of them. But hey, what do you guys think of all this? I mean, can you believe that they actually filed for divorce and that it was Michael who did it, not Amy? And do you think that they'll be able to work through their problems and get back together? Because I just cannot imagine a world where Amy and Michael aren't together, but maybe it's for the best for everyone. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments below.